I'm Sarah Webb. Welcome to Quantum Healing with the Angels, the podcast. Hi friends, this is Sarah with Quantum Healing with the Angels. I have been trying to do this intro for you for a half hour. I don't know what is wrong with me. I can't speak today, apparently. Anyway, I am really glad to be getting this out to you. It is episode 13, and it's called The Real History of Planet Earth. There was a lot of information that came from this channeling. This is a channeling that we did with Archangel Metatron. He is the angel who came through and talked to us. So there are tons of topics. I'm not even going to read them because there's so many. So I just want to get started, but I also wanted to tell you that we are going to do a drawing for a free BQH session, and this will be in November. And the way to get in on that is to leave a 5-star review and a sorry, I can't even, what is wrong with me? Help. To leave a 5-star review and some information about your favorite episode on Apple Podcasts. Since most people, a lot of people haven't done that before, I'll put in the show notes how to get there and just how to do that. So if you decide that you want to do that and you leave a review, just email me and let me know, and I will put your name in for the drawing. And like I said, we'll pull that name sometime in November. That will really help us just to be seen more, just to get out to more people. And we would really appreciate it. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. We love you. And we hope you enjoy this episode of Quantum Healing with the Angels. Is there anyone there?
This is Metatron.
Hi, Metatron. May I ask you some questions?
Yes.
Thank you. There is an eclipse, and my understanding is that they will be shooting some rockets at the eclipse, and I just wondered if that was something unusual.
That is absolutely nothing. That is misinformation. That is just something they made up just to see if anyone would believe it and be afraid. It is not working because a lot of people realize how stupid that sounds.
It does sound.
They know that there is no one powerful enough to do anything that has anything to do with nature, especially shooting fossil-fueled instruments towards a solar eclipse. What is that supposed to do exactly? Does anyone even know?
I don't know at all. I read.
That's why you should not be afraid. It sounds exactly idiotic.
Yes, it does.
That's why no one is talking about it. They are testing to see what they can do to scare everyone. And it is not working because no one is even talking about it.
No, they don't even know about it. I think the only reason I noticed it or paid attention was because of the weird phone thing the other day.
That was real.
Yes. See, that's curious because I wasn't
That
sure.
is something they can control. They cannot control most of Mother Nature. They do have some abilities to change some weather patterns on your planet. But when it comes to space and the solar eclipse, they are not that powerful. No one in the whole universe is powerful enough to mess with what you call Mother Nature. They can change some patterns on your planet as far as clouds and make rain. That is somewhat easy. They can even create earthquakes. Well, that's because they have instruments to do that. But when it comes to anything in outer space or solar events, they have no power of it whatsoever. So shooting rockets at a solar eclipse, you might well go out and shoot fireworks at the solar eclipse. It's not going to do anything. They're preparing for other things. They're just trying to see how scared people get just to just make up things.
Like which things will work?
Yes, they're trying to stir up another war between certain countries right now. That is usually the easiest thing for them to do to stir up people's worries. They're just preparing for the bigger things. Mainly the biggest one, which is the so-called fake alien invasion. They are really trying to do that one. They are testing their waters.
Is it correct that you told me although we can manifest our lives, we kind of signed up for that?
Yes, everyone did. Everyone on the planet signed up for the persons they are right now.
I was wondering if you could change that future.
Yes, your timelines always change. One person does one thing and it changes the whole thing. That's why we cannot give you your future events. We know how it's going to come out. But if we tell you exactly what's going to happen, it could disrupt the whole universe.
Right. Yes, people have mentioned that, so.
We let everything has its own free will.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So what, on the frequency thing with the phones, you said that it wouldn't work, that too many people were awake. And is that why it didn't work? Or was it the shielding that people did that made it not work?
It only didn't work in areas that were shielded. The ones that were not shielded had some effect. It puts in negative. The tones puts negative thoughts into people's heads. So that is why.
Is there anything, if you think that you got hit by that, is there anything you can do about that?
Yes. Just keep doing what we told before. The negative energy does not stay inside of you.
Okay.
You have more power than the negative energy. That what they did is just to bug people, to push people further into the negative energies. It didn't have a lot of power. It's just enough just to make some people angry. They have stronger ones, but like I said, they're just testing things to see what effect it has on people. So that one was a small one.
So for people who were in the light, did it really affect them very much?
No. Okay. It didn't affect them at all.
Yeah.
Because some had shields around themselves.
Right.
You could put a diamond-shaped shield around yourself. It doesn't have to be around your whole building. Yeah. So if you had it around yourself and your house wasn't protected, you were still protected.
Like a MerKabas?
Yeah. Yes. So if you live alone and you had one around yourself, just because it hits your house, as long as it's around you, you will not feel a thing.
Can you put those around your pets? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Pets are more full of light.
Yes.
Because they are not affected by anything as much. They go by feelings. Yeah. Technology has no feelings. So therefore, they didn't feel a thing.
And then you said it's a negative spiritual technology? Is that right?
Yes.
But So it didn't work through the matrix, or
Deck technology is inside your matrix.
Oh.
It is not the matrix. It works inside the matrix.
Okay.
The matrix itself is partially spiritual. That's why you can't see anything outside or of it, because you can't see all of the other beings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
If there was no matrix, you would see everything. You would see every ship in the sky. You would see everything. See, if you could see everything, your planet would be totally different. Everyone would be open minded because they would see everything. They would believe in other beings on other planets. Your so called religions probably would never existed. You would actually be living a more peaceful life. Currency probably wouldn't even exist. You will be living a freer life. It will be harder for people to have control over you because you wouldn't believe in any misinformation things, because the other beings in the sky would know you could see them, and you would probably be communicating with them, and you would know a lot more than what you know now. Plus, you would have more intuitive powers. You would know how to do a lot more things than you could ever do. You could heal yourself faster, mainly because you wouldn't believe in anything else. You wouldn't even have any doctors because you would not need them. Yeah. So there'll be no such thing as health insurance. Yeah. There will be no such thing as hospitals. None of that would exist. Which that's going to happen in the future anyway. So all of that stuff is going to go away.
Is that because there are new technologies coming in? Like positive things eventually?
No, it is because of the Flash.
Oh, the Flash. Oh.
We cannot say when the Flash is going to happen. But it is possible for more technologies to come out that could heal people faster. But those would not be in the near future because they do not want that right now. Cancer is going to disappear in the future. That is one thing we can tell you for sure. Most diseases would disappear in the future on your current timeline.
I see. Okay.
The timelines are always changing, like I said. But it doesn't matter how many times the timelines change. It doesn't matter. Because the one thing for sure, that we know for sure, that we can tell you for sure, is that all diseases will disappear.
Okay.
It may be before the Flash. It may not be. But they will disappear. Yes.
Well, we can already do self-healing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Even though many don't know that.
Yes, they don't know that, but you know that.
Yeah, I do.
Because you've done it to yourself.
Yeah, I have.
And that's some things you cannot tell most people. Which we do not argue with you not telling people that, because we know people on your planet, it is hard for people to believe that. You cannot tell anyone that you healed yourself because of course they will not believe it. But like you said, you can be like us and say that doesn't matter. You can tell some people that you did that for yourself.
Yeah.
And some may believe it, some may not.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things you cannot tell a lot of people because they will not believe you.
Oh no, they're too scared.
Yes, they will not believe you.
But I understand why. It is like an assault on you when those things happen, and
exactly
the doctors and everyone telling you you've got to get in there, and it's urgent, and it's scary. It does scare you.
Yes. So, because it is your human form. Your human form.
Sure.
Everyone fights for survival.
Yeah.
They're not really afraid to die. Right. Some are, but
I know, it's a kind of a curious thing, isn't it?
Yes. Even if you're not afraid to die in your earth, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's
It's like, why
human.
would we want to stay? But then again, it's human nature.
Even if you know, some people are in the light and they know they're going to see their loved ones even when they pass away.
Yeah.
But you still like life.
Right.
It's just part of your human form. You like being alive.
Yeah.
That's normal. There's nothing not normal about that. That's normal. Even if you're full of light and you know you're going to be over here celebrating with us again, you still like life. You just like life. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So the last time, I think, last time or time before, we talked about how people go to the light. There's nowhere else to go, but they can delay and stay here. Do they do that always by choice, or do they ever get confused and stay here? And maybe they don't know they've died or something?
There are few that do pass away really fast. And for some instances, they do not realize they're dead, but only it's not for long.
Yeah.
They don't find out they're dead in a horrific way most of the time. It's almost like, how can I explain it? Sometimes people die like really fast, like if they're running and something happens really fast. They still feel like they're running, but all of a sudden they will stop. And when they stop running, they see everything kind of slows down a bit. And then they stop running and they look around and they notice everything is brighter, almost prettier.
Oh, yeah.
And then if they started walking back to their house, that is one thing, I'll cut it here. There's one thing I noticed about your entertainment. They got some things right. Okay, if someone died and they go to walk in their house to turn a doorknob, they will see their hand go through the doorknob. And that will scare them. But they won't be like terrified, scared. They will be trying to figure out.
Like in Ghost. I keep thinking of that movie.
There is a movie like that, yes.
Yes.
They will see that and it will frighten them for a minute. That's right away. That's when we come in. Because we have to come in fast. Because they don't know they're dead until they do something like that. And it's like, why did my hand go through the doorknob? So right then, that's when we come in and they'll see us. But when they see us, they know right away that they passed away. They just know. We don't have to tell them they know. But when they know that, they don't start crying because their feelings are different. They don't have human emotions anymore. They see us and they automatically understand and say, okay, I pass away. They actually are happy, but they still want to see their loved ones. We don't show them, how can we say this? We try not to show them where their loved ones are crying over them. We automatically show them how to go to a place where people are talking about them in a good way. Sometimes they will ask us to take them to their funerals because they know they can handle it. They are not sad when they see their loved ones crying over them. They automatically go to the loved ones to show them that they're okay, which most of the time that doesn't work because their loved ones are so in grief. All I can do is hug them and try to let them feel their warmth. It takes loved ones a long time to get out of the grief. Once they get to a certain point where they're not as grieving as much, then that's when they start seeing things that their loved ones can show them. Like if someone is grieving and they're not as grieving as much as before, if we let them stick around if they want to move things or try to give their family member a clue that they're okay. And most of the time they see it. And then they smile and then they're kind of happy. They're still sad because they missed them, but there's like, I know that was my loved one showing me this certain thing. And it helps them heal. So that those things happen. They got those right in your entertainment. So we like those kind of entertainment to show people because That's the one thing they almost pretty much got correct. Except for the things about the hell part. That's not real because hell doesn't
Right.
exist.
Right.
But the good things, they got most of those things correct. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about, was the in-between part before you get to the light.
Yes.
And is that the astral realm, or is that a different dimension or something?
There's really no such thing as that. Someone called it that. The cool thing about this, we can describe it to you. When you so-called, what you call not going into the light and hanging around, the light is always around you.
Okay.
So you can go, that way you can go into it anytime you want. That's the one thing they didn't get right in the movies, because they had people running around, and then at the end of the movie, the light pops up and then they can go in.
Right.
That's not true. The light is always around you.
Okay.
That way you can go in it at any time you want.
Okay, so they can always go.
Yes. But I think I told you this before. Once you go into the light, you can't go in the light and come back out of light, and you can't come onto this plane anytime you want.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
Once you come here, then you're here. But you can still see
Right.
your family members from here.
You can still see them.
And you can still give them messages from here. You
So
can't move things around from the light, though. You have to be in this realm to do things. But once you go into the light, you're in the light, but you can still see things. You can watch over your families. That is real. You can watch over your families from the light.
So I have a question about mediums and what they do. How does that work? Is that real?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, everyone has that gift too. Most people think only certain people have that gift. See, that's another gift that humans have that they don't think they can do. You can, if you really, if you learn how to meditate really good and listen, usually when it's really quiet, you can listen. Sometimes you'll get messages from something. You don't know who it is. You can hear a name. But you really have to be in tune.
Yeah.
You can't be thinking about other things like, oh, I gotta wash the dishes. No, you're not gonna hear anything thinking about earthly things. You literally have to be in a state where you're trying to listen to us.
Yeah, they said it's really subtle at first.
Yes.
Is that right?
That is exactly right.
Okay.
Because sometimes, I know a lot of people have heard this before. They could be in their house and they might hear somebody call their name.
Yes, a lot of people say that, actually.
And it sounds like a slight echo. It's not like right there, but it sounds like it might sound like somebody might be in another room or something. That is what you call a spirit trying to talk to them.
Okay. Yeah, some people wonder, is it my spirit guide? Is it...
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
But the only way you would know that is if you really listen.
So we have to tune in so that we will know. Like, get the knowing. Is that what we need to do?
Okay. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like, some people do learn these things. I'm in a group right now where they are learning that. And the girl in the group learned how to do that.
You can be taught that.
Okay.
You can be taught that. Yeah. How to be what you call a mediator.
Yeah.
Some people are really good at it. Some people were born with the gift. When you're really born with the gift, those are the ones that can hear it clear as day. So some people are given the gift like right away.
That's true.
But everyone can do it. But some are lucky and they got that one gift where they can hear it easily than anyone else.
Now, some hear the things and don't feel so lucky. And, you know, there's someone I've talked to who is going through an experience like that of seeing actually things and then having those things disappear. And that person was wondering what that was.
Some medians see negative things.
Uh-huh.
See, the thing about it is those are not negative spirits. Some medians can see the so-called reptilians in another dimension. So they think they're seeing evil spirits, but they're actually seeing like actual beings in another dimension that can make themselves look like an evil spirit, which your religion brings that in. That's why it's confusing, because they think it's an evil spirit, but no, they have so much power they can actually see in another dimension, and they think they're seeing an evil spirit, but it's not. It's actually another being that knows about your religion and trying to make you think you see something that's so-called evil, which evil doesn't even exist.
Yeah, I think they saw a man and woman, and they came like almost like the veil opened up or something.
I see.
Yes.
That wasn't evil. That was just them seeing. That was actually them seeing another dimension. It's what you call your glitch in your so-called matrix.
Yeah.
So those were real people they were seeing, but they were seeing those people in different times, in different areas.
Interesting.
So it kind of threw them off, because they saw the same people in different areas. That's because the people work. Those people walked in both in those areas, but he saw them in different times. So to him, they look like ghosts.
So does he have a gift?
I think I know who you're referring to, but yes, he is trying to figure it out.
Oh, he did say that in front of a certain area that someone said, "Get away from here." Their voice said, "Get away from here."
That was a sound he heard from the past. Someone was telling somebody else to get away from here. That person had passed away, but his energy was still there, and he heard his past energy.
So he really does have a gift.
Yes, he does.
Oh my goodness.
He is just trying to figure it out.
He said he's fought it for a while.
The reason why he was fighting it is because he thought he was going crazy. But since he met you, now he knows he is not crazy. He can't tell no one else these things. Only you and his spouse.
So that's why he has so many unusual experiences? Okay.
A lot of the things that are happening in their domicile is because they see other dimensions and other beings going in and out of their house. Their house is on a vortex that's been there for millennia.
Now, that's a positive vortex, right?
Yes. It is a positive vortex. Sometimes some negative things go through it, and sometimes the negative things go into the vortex the wrong way, and they end up here.
Oh, goodness.
Then they turn good.
Okay.
They turn into light.
Okay.
That's because they signed up for that, and they ended up here. So even they signed up for what they are doing. Everything signs up
for what
it is.
Happens.
If you want to be a tree, you will be a tree. If you want to be a rock, you'll be a rock. The thing about rocks, though, yes, rocks are alive, but rocks, when you're alive, when you live as a rock, you don't die. You can just leave whenever, because a tree, you can die as a tree. The only thing about living as a tree is you will live for a long time on a planet until something cuts you down or you die naturally. But trees, Source made trees very interesting. Trees can live for a long time. So you have a lot of knowledge because you see a lot of things, because you're in a one spot for millennia, or until something cuts you down or you fall over and die. but you're there for a long time, so you see all kinds of things. You see the changes of the
If you're trade.
planets and things going by you. But yes,
And then there was one more thing I was going to ask you about the Matrix. Has it been here for a long time?
no, there was no Matrix until your being started getting into the technological age.
So people before that could see?
Yes, they
Well-
just not have it in your history. That's why I say they changed your history. One of the main beings that changed your history was
Holy crap.
Roman.
Gosh.
Most of it started in the Roman ages. They went to Egypt and they saw a lot of things from Egypt, and they didn't like what they saw. They couldn't read it.
Mm-hmm.
One main thing they didn't like about Egypt is they didn't like that the color of the people that had that much power.
The people that were dark?
Yes, the Egyptians back in those days was the color of this being that is speaking now. The Persian military invaded after Rome, and that's why all of the Egyptians look like they do now.
For heaven's
The darker beings moved south,
Mm-hmm.
which is most of that what you call that country of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are dark. And they were dark in Egypt until the Persian military invaded and stole all of their culture. They literally took over their culture.
When I went to that life, I was so dark.
Yes, you were alive in that life when they were all dark. And they had some technology left over. But see,
a little bit.
Like I said before, this color being was over the area for a long time. They had technology like they do now. That's because those beings were not from this planet. They were brought to this planet.
Was it Sirius or was it other planets?
It was from the Sirius area. There are many planets in the Sirius. They were from there, and they found Earth, and they started a new planet here in that area. They built pyramids all over the world, actually. They weren't just in this area, they were all over the world. That's another thing they don't have in your history.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to say that only that color being lived in that one area, but they were actually all over the planet. There are pyramids in other places on your planet, and other cultures took over those pyramids because they were left there, and they used them as their own. The Aztecs did not build those pyramids. They were left from the other beings. They just found those there and used them for their own thing. I
had a vision of a place and it looked like something like that, or Mayan, but it had flat-topped pyramids.
Yes, but there used to be diamonds on top of those pyramids.
Did they take the top?
They took those because that was the technology. That's why most of the pyramids have cut off tops, because that's what a stone used to be, what you call crystals.
So there's a crystal.
Yes.
In Egypt, were they gold or crystal?
Some had crystals, but some had a gold top. Crystal?
Yeah.
Gold top.
Oh, okay.
But they took the whole thing.
Okay.
When the beings were dark, they were there. They were there for 3 million years before the crystals were taken away. The other beings went back to Sirius and they left the others. The others wanted to stay on Earth. So they said, well, we will leave, but we're going to take our technology with us. They didn't leave them without anything. They had the knowledge to stay alive, but they took the technology with them, because if they would have left the technology with them, and if the so-called Persians and other things would have got a hold of it, your planet would be totally different right now. It would actually be probably worse. It probably wouldn't even be like it is now. It probably wouldn't be
So it'd be taken over, like, way worse.
Yes. But one crystal was left behind by mistake. Another race got it. The Lemurians found it.
Oh.
The Lemurians lost it. The Atlanteans found it. The Atlanteans made technology from it.
Wow.
So Lemuria destroyed themselves. The Atlantis found it. The Atlanteans destroyed themselves from it. Another race came and found it and took it away from this planet. That is why no more of that technology is on this planet.
Wow.
Yes. So there's a lot in your history that,
yeah.
There's so much in your history that is missing. It would take, that's why you have to come here, because you know everything. It would take us millions of years to tell us. There is so much history that was on that planet that you're on now that it will boggle your mind.
Did they change the books and all the, just everything?
Yes. Have you ever played that game when you tell somebody something and it goes around the room? A lot of time it gets back to you, the story has totally changed.
Yes.
That's why you are in the predicament you are now.
Oh, gosh.
Mainly for your religions. Pretty much every bit of your religion is wrong.
How long has the actual Matrix been in place?
The Matrix started around, it wasn't too far into your past. 1800. Because once you figured out how to make, it was at close to the end of the, it was close to the end of like 1800s when you first figured out how to make electricity. That's when everything, because you need electricity to power things.
So that part is true.
Yes. Yeah. But the actual Matrix, unfortunately, the Matrix was helped being built by other beings from other planets. So really the Matrix wasn't really built until like around the 1930s. 1930s.
About the time when electricity had started. And
right.
And then I think Tesla.
But there was an incident. It was an incident when an alien craft crashed. There's a lot of parts they found in the ship. Alien craft crash in a place you call New Mexico. They got the instruments from that ship. And they found other crashes as well. They pretty much took parts out of those ships and they got your scientists and they took those to their bases and they actually had contact with other beings around that time. They started making underground bases. Those other beings showed them how to do certain things. Those other beings had wars with your so-called reptilians. The reptilians had contacts with some of your beings on your planet. The reptilians showed them how to build a barrier around your planet. And that barrier is what you call the Matrix.
Okay.
Because reptilians are good at controlling people. And they made a deal with beings on your planet that also likes to control people. And that's when their whole civilization started going out of whack. That's when the control started from ground one. You had a social security number so they can track every person. Well, not on the planet, but every person in your area. Because on your so-called country is where the social security numbers are stronger. There's a lot of countries that don't even have social security numbers, so they're a little bit freer than you are. Your country is really locked down. And it started with the so-called social security number so they can track you. You literally can't get anything without that number.
How ironic that this is the land of the free.
Yes, that is a misconception. Unfortunately, you are not free.
They use a lot of
You think
propaganda,
you are free, but you are not.
Yeah.
A lot of countries on your planet are not free. But you're really not free. because of that number. You can't get nothing without that number. Your country is really, really under strain because of that number.
Yeah. Well, can they hear us talking right now? Like, I know they listen to us.
Yes, they can,
Mm-hmm.
but they won't retaliate. The reason why is because they know most people won't even believe what I'm saying. The only time they will try to retaliate, the more people that believe the truth, then that's when you're in danger. But since no one really listens, and you're not what you call so-called a celebrity, and you have millions of people listening to you, you are not a threat to them. So they'll let you say whatever you want until or unless you get a lot of recognition, mainly from world leaders. If world leaders start recognizing you, then you will be in danger. And hopefully those world leaders will protect you. But I would not count on it.
I wanted to ask you, you talked about how they can wipe our memory. Is there anything we can do to prevent that? Since that is a spiritual technology.
That is a technology, unfortunately. That is a strong technology. You know what? Unfortunately, that is one thing that can be stopped. They found the right crystals. That technology is very dangerous because they can do things in broad daylight and everyone would see it. But they have a technology that can literally like wipe it from your mind.
And that's happened. That's happened to us, I guess.
Yes, but the only weakness of that technology, even though it's somewhat spiritual, it's not totally spiritual. It's mostly what you call electronic. That's why I said if your power grid ever went down, they would not be able to do that.
That makes better sense now.
So
I was trying to figure that out.
If your power grid ever went down, that's why I say you would see everything. And they would not be able to hide anything from you anymore because you would see everything.
And so that's how we might, if it went down, be able to already do telepathy? Or would we need to learn how to do that?
The power grid actually does block your telepathy. You can't feel it, but even though you got electricity going through wires, it comes out of the wires. It's around you. The electricity is always around you. And that is how your telepathy is being blocked. But you can hear some things. Just like I said about the mediums, they can hear. So you can do telepathy, but you just have to work harder at it because of the electricity. If the electricity, you ever noticed, have you ever been in a house where the power went out? Did you ever, I don't know if you noticed, but do you ever notice that you feel different when you don't have any power in the house?
Yeah.
It almost feels like you feel lighter because you don't hear anything. Like,
that's true.
It's like your whole house changes. It's almost like you're in a empty shell, but you can hear everything because you don't hear that humming from the electricity going through your house. So you have been in a house with no power, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It feels different, doesn't it? It's like
it does.
You can hear everything.
Yes. It gets. Oh, yeah. It does get very quiet.
Right.
That's right.
So if the power grid goes down, your whole planet will be quiet. You will hear nature like everywhere, and you will be able to think clearer because you're not looking at your so-called cell phones. You don't hear anything except other people talking or nature. So your sensors are heightened. Just like when someone goes blind, their hearing gets super clear. They can hear everything. Or if they go deaf, they can see 20/20 vision because all of their energy is focused on the one thing they have that they need to get around. So that's why when somebody's blind, they can hear a pin drop, literally, because all of their senses are in their ears. That's what they need to get around. So if the power grid goes out, all of your senses are heightened. You'll be able to see clearer. You'll be able to hear everything. You'll even be able to feel things differently because all your senses are heightened. You don't hear anything.
So even if that happens, we'll have advantages.
Oh, yes. We'll have lots of advantages.
Okay.
Some people might not be able to handle it because they're so used to having noise, they won't be able to handle quiet.
Sure.
Especially in the big cities.
Yeah, I was going to just say.
The big cities, you would not want to be in a big city when the power grid goes down because those people will lose their minds.
Yeah, I'm sure they're just used to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They will go crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to noise, they wouldn't like not hearing nothing.
Right.
It'll scare them,
Freak them
actually.
out.
So you do not want to be in a big city if the power grid goes, because they would not be able to handle it.
Okay. This is great. These are things I've really thought about. Like, what is going to make us so mad, you know? This really helps. Thank you so much. So I was out helping Travis the other night, and I felt this big bunch of power go through me. And that happens sometimes. I was just wondering what that is about. Why does it randomly do that? Or is it random?
Is it a good power?
It's a great feeling, yes. It's great.
That power is you. You are starting to feel feelings from your future. It is starting from your lower area.
Like my root chakra, yes. Like a Kundalini rising feeling.
That's because you're already feeling happy feelings from things that's going to come.
Wow.
Because when you're happy, you feel those in that area anyway, because you're happy, you're relaxed, you're happy, everything's going right. You feel it in the area.
Yeah, like the core of your...
Yes, you feel that coming already.
Yeah.
So you have good things coming and you can feel it coming.
Yeah, it just goes upwards.
So that is a good thing.
Oh, good. Okay.
So that is a good thing. So you have good things coming to you so you can feel that. Yes, that is a good thing. Do you have any more questions? Then we are complete.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed that episode. I also wanted to let you know I've got another episode coming up next week. This one is a BQH session that I had that was just really interesting and really powerful. So I will have that up as soon as I can, and just keep an eye out for it. It is Friday, October 20th. So we hope you have a good Friday and a good weekend, and we love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Quantum Healing with the Angels. This podcast is sponsored by Sarah Webb Beyond Quantum Healing. Contact Sarah today for your free consultation and mention this ad for 10% off your Quantum Healing or Quantum Connect session.